Hi, I'm Seamless, and today is Friday, which means it's time for a new how to bass tutorial. How to bass, goddammit. And today I'm going to show you how to make this sound. Yeah. Anyway, also I want to remind you that I have a sale on lessons going on. So if you want to get lessons, now's a pretty good time because they're more than half off from usual. Check out the link in the description of my video to find out more about that. So, also, this video is brought to you by Eek. You've seen him and heard him before because he keeps sponsoring my videos, so good job, that guy. And there's also a link in the description of this video, and he's credited because he could do that on YouTube. And, yeah, so, all that kind of stuff. This sound is pretty cool. It's basically, I've been doing a lot of Citrus things, and with Citrus, I use the Unison index mapping to basically clone different controls to be in different positions throughout across the Unison voices. And I figured, well, Harmor has that too, so why not do that? So this one, I've done that before, but like this one uses a lot of it. And it's a little bit hard to show you kind of how this started, just because so much of it involves everything else that's happening. But I guess I could sort of start in the beginning here to sort of show you what's supposed to happen. So first of all, I'm using. I started with two voices Unison just to make sure this is going to work. And then I changed the profile of the harmonic unison pitch, which, you know, does that to the sound. And I turned on harmonic phaser mode. So I'm still not 100% clear on what this even does, but this essentially ties the pitch of each individual harmonic with its position in the phaser. So when I have it on, you can see that it's just wildly out of place, but it's out of place according to essentially this graph because it's changing the pitch of all the harmonics pitch just per Unison voice. The same thing would happen if I turned on the prism. You see it start to have spread out quite evenly, and it's even according to this graph. So that's kind of, it's related to pitch and how the harmonic unison pitch reacts to things. Anyway, what I decided to do is I was gonna take the offset and just spread it across all 9 voices. When I have 9 voices. So there's 9 voices, I put the pitch pretty high. We're still only looking at one voice here, but now essentially this knob, which moves the harmonic unison, is spread evenly 9 ways from its start position. Same thing with the width, which changes sort of the spread of what the phaser is doing. It sounds pretty awful right now, but don't worry, we'll get somewhere useful in a second. So right here is sort of, actually, I guess not right here, but because of the way that this works and the way that I'm spreading it, I don't use Unison panning at all. It's pretty okay right now, and actually for a lot of things, it's actually a pretty good idea to do this kind of spreading and then use the panning because we've done much more to each individual voice than just change pitch and phase, which means that the stereo image is much more evenly spread, which is a lot of fun. But it won't be once we do the next part, which is that I turn on a bandpass filter, make it pretty thin, and then use an index map that, which we've done a lot of inside Citrus before, but not by a lot. Now, it's hard to sort of see this in the individual because we're only looking at one voice, but if we look at it, we can detect a kind of code filter-esque kind of deal. Come on. Bam. Now, what's hilarious about doing that is that... Wow, excuse me. What's hilarious about doing that is that because of the 9 voices of Unison, there are 9 entirely separate harmors. 9 of them have different offset in the phaser and different width of the phaser, and then each of these differences has their own bandpass. So when we're looking at the 9 different bandpasses here, one of them will be illuminating a particular phaser profile. The other one will be illuminating a particular phaser profile. And when they move, they're not all moving over the same information. It's like each individual one of these is a frame, and when we move it up and down, that one's information follows with it, and then the one that comes up into its position where the other one was actually is different still. So we're like illuminating different voices by doing something like that. So that's how all that started. Now from here, I guess I could bring it back here. So once I did that, I brought on a regular bandpass filter. Let's turn off the effects. I put a regular bandpass filter in front of that. I also have phase randomness on, and I turned all the way up to the square side. However, I am messing around with the Unison index mapping here as well. So that means that some of the voices are saw, some of them are square. Kind of hard to tell what's happening. Now, because what I was mentioning before about the split with the bandpass, if I do put up panning, you can hear a very clear difference, but more like one side of it is high frequency, the other side of it is not high frequency, and that's where the imbalance comes from. That makes it difficult to kind of use that kind of effect. I also used a harmonizer, but we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, so it's a full serial. So that means that this filter is going into number 2, and number 2 is just the regular bandpass, and that's being linked to mod X as well. I'm also turning on the resonance of these guys. So all of these guys independently are resonant. And this is a custom using resonance shape. Now, the cool thing about the resonance shape and the filter shapes is that you can make your own. And the specific coolness about the resonance shapes is that the filter shapes are essentially off to on, rather. So it's just complete cut and then plus on up there. And this it's really about just being from on to off, but you might be wondering what the hell that could possibly mean. And then in the resonance, however, we have boost and cut. So like essentially down from here downward is where the original filter is, but we could also boost. So we could create a much more interesting profile with the resonance than you could with the actual filter. And it's just designed to fall around the cutoff. So you could actually have a filter that has no filter up here and then create your filter that you actually want up here. And that's what we did here. And then I linked the width itself. Oh, come on. Linked the width to mod X, so that means that it's automated like that. And then because it's attached to this filter, it's at the 9 different positions that it is as well, which is causing that kind of behavior to occur. What else is important? So the using randomness, or rather harmonic randomness, is up there. A little bit of harmonic protection, because if I just without it, there's no bass whatsoever. And then I guess we should go to the effects. So that's I'm pretty sure that's everything I did up there. Teensy bit of distortion, but the first thing I did was put on a whole bunch of compression, because as you can tell, it's really, really quiet. When we filter it that many times, we lose a lot of the gain, so we got to bring it back and I just crank it with the compression and help it a little bit along with the distortion. Reverb and delay. This is the really, 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 really short delay to give it that kind of like transformer-y robot kind of sound, which is pretty great. Now, it's still a little too dark for me, so that's what the harmonizer is for. If you go to the advanced tab, you can see that the phasers in the beginning here, and filter 1, filter 2, and the harmonizer, which you can change by dragging over and scrolling it with the scroll wheel. The harmonizer being after this means that it's going to be harmonizing the information that comes out of essentially the crazy filtering shenanigans that we created up here. I randomized the matrix to get this setting, and the width and the strength are pretty high to give it. It's really very prominent. As you can see, it creates a kind of a nice high frequency tinge. It's a lot of fun. Pretty great stuff. Other than that, that's really all there is to this. Yeah. This, honestly, I really only barely scratched the surface of a lot of the things that I use to do some of the stuff in here. Like, the harmonic phaser business is actually really complicated all on itself. And in the past, I've done some cool things with that. And I might do more with it. But for now, I wanted to just kind of go crazy with the Unison index mapping concept inside Harmor for a change, as opposed to just doing it with Citrus. So yeah, this preset, which it is by itself only a preset, there's nothing else happening in post, will be available to download in the description of this video. Don't forget to check out Eek and his YouTube channel, because he sponsors this video. Also, don't forget that I'm doing a lesson sale. It's until the end of May, so you got basically like a month and change to get the scheduled lesson in if you want to do that. $40 an hour as opposed to the usual 90. If you have any questions about any of that, please let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all the good stuff. And as usual, have a nice day.